Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 37. I want to say 37 of the Spearhead Sundays motherfucking podcast. I hope you had a shit one this week. Today is Saturday. I'm recording this on just before grand final. So it's grand final day today. And you know what? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about the AFL Grand Final. I don't care who wins. You know what? The only reason I care who wins, and the only reason I'm going to pay attention, this is what I do every Grand Final, is I get a photo of the two teams that are in the Grand Final. So this year, the Swans and the Bulldogs are playing. I get a photo of them and I save them on my phone, and then I wait until the AFL Grand Final ends, right on the siren, and whoever wins, whoever loses the game, I wait till the end of the siren, and whoever loses the game, I post a photo of that team on Facebook, and I go, fuck yeah, I knew they were going to do it. Congratulations to the losers who just won the Grand Final. Every year, I've done this like 4 years in a row, and everybody still falls for it and thinks that I'm delusional or I posted the wrong thing. But it always makes me laugh because, you know what? Let's say the fucking Bulldogs are going to win, and then I post Sydney. Congratulations, Sydney Swans, for winning. And then all the cunts just share it who hate the Swans and go, and just so they can fuck with their mates. It's great. It's a good time. That's the only reason I care about the AFL Grand Final. Otherwise, I really don't care at all. I've been having a frustrating day today. I've had a really fucking tough one because, as you guys know, I'm trying to get advertisers on this podcast, trying to monetize another arm of my operation here. Hey, maybe so that one day I could afford to buy dinner as well instead of just breakfast and lunch. I'm trying to get that dinner money. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get that fucking just on par with the minimum wage money. That's what I'm really after. Okay, so I'm trying to monetize this fucking podcast, and what I'm doing is I'm building up like a nice little photograph that says how many listeners I get on the podcast, what your demographic is, which is like 80% males aged 18 to 24 who hate the world, and then like me, and then 20% girls aged like 16 to 22 who are like the only person in their friend group that like me. But they fucking, they really dig my shit, but they don't know anybody else that does, because I fucking see them, right? All these girls, and I know they really like my shit. They must like it a lot because they all fucking come by themselves. Because they can't find a single other girl that like my shit. They'll be like, oh my God. They'll meet up with all their friends, like their other lady friends. But oh my God, have you seen this comedian Lewis Spears? He's so funny. I have to show you one of his videos. And then they pull up a video, like a Lou review, and like, look, this is so funny. And then their group of friends, they open up the video, and then immediately they see it's 10 minutes long, so they're already fucking tuned out. And then some dickhead looking like the gay version of Adolf Hitler comes on stage and goes, oh, g'day, cunts, and that's it. Like, oh my God, do you really like this stuff? Really? You like that? And it's like, oh, well, I don't know, I just thought, oh, well, you know, yeah, I guess it's not really that funny. And then they go home and then they watch it by themselves and come to the show by themselves. So that's my demographic, right? 18 to 25-year-old dudes who hate the world and all their mates dig my shit, and then like 16 to 22-year-old girls, and they're the only people who like my shit. And I appreciate both those groups because that's really what I'm going after, right? I want the boys who will go out and they'll have a fucking great time at the show, and then I want the girl who comes by herself, and that's okay. She just doesn't give a fuck. She just wants to come and enjoy the show, even if she comes by herself. So I appreciate those two demographics. Anyway, fuck, it's hot. I'm taking off my jumper. Oh. Another moment of unprofessional behavior from the shittest podcast in the iTunes top 10. Oh, that's better. All right, so what am I talking about? Oh, yeah, I was doing a fucking graphic thing. So on the graphic, it was like, spearhead... Oh, you want to go outside? Sorry, my dog. You all right? You want to go outside? You fucking alien. All right. There you go. Fucking dickhead. Yeah, graphic. Okay, so at the top of the graphic, it's like Lewis Spears Spearhead Sundays, and it gives a little bio. It's like, oh, Lewis Spears is a comedian with an online fan base, blah, blah, suck my own dick, I'm the best, okay? Because this is like my pitch to the businesses. This whole thing, I send to a business, and I'm like, this is why you need your ads on my fucking shit podcast. And so at the top, it's like my name, the name of the podcast, a little fucking bio about the podcast and me, okay? So they introduced to me. And then below that, it has like how many listens I get a month. So, which is growing every month, but at the moment it's like whatever it fucking is. I can't remember what it is. And then it has like the demographics, so what I just talked about before, and then it has, you can have an ad that goes for 30 seconds in the middle of the podcast, and it'll cost you this much depending on how many views you get, whatever. And then it has reviews from listeners, because basically I'm thinking they don't give a fuck about the podcast, they give a fuck about the audience, because that's who they're going to try and sell their shit to, right? You guys might buy something if I have a fucking cool product that I advertise. And I tried to look for reviews on the iTunes store so they could see. So I'm like, obviously the average rating is 5 stars. Okay, so I went onto my iTunes thing, I'm like, I'll get up a quote from like regular people that have heard the podcast, and then they can be like, oh, okay, obviously, the people who listen really like this. So I'm looking for 5-star reviews, and I could not find a single fucking review that did not end with miscellaneous bit at the end makes me want to die. Like I would get really excited. I'll just pick one at random, right? I'm going to read on my own news page now. All right, so this one is 5 stars by someone called Sam. The headline is Brilliant Podcast. So I'm excited. I'm like, yes, I could use this one. Lewis, you're killing it. Keep up the good work. Good luck on tour. I can't make it, though. I'm still trying to cure my cancer from miscellaneous bit at the end. So I can't fucking use that. The first half of that is great, but I just cannot use that shit. This one got me really excited because this is such a professional review that just ends in bullshit, right? This would be the perfect thing to put on my graphic, but if they read the whole thing, they'd be like, well, there's no way we're going to advertise with this cunt because obviously all he jokes about is cancer and suicide. Right? This one's 5 stars from someone called Hayden. Lewis Spears' podcast is not only some of the best material he has ever created, but it's also some of the best material nationally. It's by far the best podcast that I've ever listened to and deserves far more recognition than it gets. This is a fucking sick review, very professional, I like it. And so does his other work. Nobody can pull off raw, unfiltered comedy quite like Lewis, and he certainly does it well. Lewis is also one of the few artists in the entertainment industry that truly appreciates his fans and shows this by regularly giving back to the community that helped him get to where he is today by giving out free material, selling merchandise and tickets as cheap as possible, and actually listening to people and responding to them when possible. I love this podcast. And right now, right, that review, that's perfect for what I'm going for. That's like a genuine, heartfelt, I like Lewis because of these reasons. Perfect to put on my thing. But then he ends it, I love this podcast and can only find one negative thing to say about it. I've listened to every miscellaneous bit at the end and have since started cutting my wrists and crying myself to sleep at night. It's well worth it. I can't fucking use any of these. Every single one ends with, I have cancer, I want to die. And you know what? I've done it to myself. It's my fucking fault. I told you guys to do this. I can't even get angry about it. And the only other one that's like a serious one is that gives me 1 star, and it's from some dickhead who nicknamed himself Susan McLean. And it says, well, fuck, where's the 1-star review? That made me piss my pants. All right, most critical reviews. Where is it? All right. This one is written by someone called Susan McLean. This podcast is very offensive to everyone I know that has heard it, including myself. However, I love miscellaneous bit at the end. And it's just fucked. So I can't use any of these. So I'm just going to have to... Can you guys just do me a favor? Can one person who listen to this, right, just go to iTunes and just give me like a nice short review that says you like my podcast. Give me 5 stars. Can you just just do that as a favor to me so that I can put it on this thing and send it to a business? Because I can't literally go on my page and read all of the reviews. I can't use any of these. I'm starting to regret. But nah, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. You know, if at the end of the day, if a business is going to be like, oh, well, we don't want to have this kind of shit, then I don't want to advertise their stuff anyway. Oh, man. Yeah, can someone just 2 people, all I need is 2 reviews. Can someone just leave like 2 sentences, something really nice that doesn't end with killing yourself, all right? That would be very helpful to me. You pack of cunts. But no, look, I like having the funniest reviews on iTunes. That's what I'm really after. Because my thing is, if someone considers viewing, like, if someone who has no idea who I am, they've never heard of me, they're just browsing like the top 10 comedy podcasts, and then they see mine, and they're like, oh, well, Spearhead Sunday, it's kind of cool name, I'll check it out. And they read the reviews, and every single review talks about dying and cancer and killing themselves. I just want them to be really, really confused and a little bit scared. That's what I'm really after. So I think we're nailing that at the moment. So, you know, apart from that, I've had a pretty good week. Apart from that infuriating search through, it was hundreds of reviews about talking about killing themselves. Anyway, apart from that, I've had a really good week, man. I finally nailed this bit that I've been working on stage for. Oh, by the way, I want to say before I talk about stand-up, this week's review I'm not very proud of. I think it was a bit shit. The one about YouTube guidelines. I probably shouldn't have released that, to be honest. I wasn't very happy with it. I've just been so busy with working on this one stand-up bit, and then I also did the song parody, and I was also in the studio recording my mixtape. I think I just did a bit too much stuff. I think that review was basically like, if I don't put it out, I've missed a week. Do you know what I mean? So, and I already missed 1 week the week before that, so I figured I'd put out 2 videos this week, which was the song parody and this one, and yeah, I don't know. I didn't really like it. I liked the Hitler joke, and then it was pretty funny, but other than that, I wasn't really feeling it. But next week's review, I'm so proud of. Like, it's some of my best work. I'm not even fucking kidding. This is something that I've been working on for a month. No, more than a month. A really long time. And it's got a lot of stuff, a lot of fan interaction shit in there. Like, I think it's a very good one. Stay tuned for that. You know, I don't give you any hints other than I think it's really good and I think it's very funny. Actually, people who support me on Patreon probably know what this one is about because I've talked about it in the Facebook group chat and everything we have. You'll see. All right, now that that's over, I'm not going to... You know what? That's what I decided. If I don't fucking love the review, I'm not going to release it. I think that's just better than committing to weekly. Like, I'm definitely obviously going to try and do weekly, but if I finish a video and I watch it, I'm like, yeah, I'm just not going to put it out. Anyway, what am I talking about? Oh, this one bit, right? This is a big reason why why the review wasn't that good, because I was spending so much effort on this one fucking 5-minute bit I've been working on for so long. It's about, I don't want to ruin it for you guys because obviously you're going to see it live when I go on tour, but it's about raising awareness and the difference between raising awareness and helping. You know, this whole culture of raising awareness and posting about shit and then people acting like they're heroes for doing it. I'm just trying to take it apart in a really funny way. And last night, it was Tuesday night, I fucking nailed it. I got up on stage. It was just an open mic, nothing special about the night. I got up there and I just fucking crushed it in a really professional way for the first time. For the first time with new material for this year's show, I absolutely demolished. And I feel really happy because I always around this time of year when writing material is when it all starts to come together and start to really smash, because the first half of the year when you're writing new jokes, it's always hit and miss here and there where, this joke worked, that bit was shit, and this whole joke is too confusing and you throw it out. Basically, the first half of the year is when stand-up comedians really risk. They just risk it. They try shit. They've got nothing to lose. You know, you're at an open mic night. You don't ever have to do a show until 12 months away. So you just try out all of the ideas that you have and just throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. But now I've been doing that for 6 months, and I'm getting an idea of how my show's coming together. And this bit of material is kind of forming like the main core message of my whole show. And I finally fucking nailed it. I added in a new bit. I took out an old part, and it just fucking destroyed. And the audience loved it. They had, and it's great because they weren't fans. They were just regular people, so they had no pre-expectation of me. And I just fucking smashed it. So now I'm really excited to just perform as much as possible. Like I think I've gigged like 3-4 times in the past 2 weeks, and one of them was that trial show that I did last Sunday. So yeah, I don't know, I'm just in a really good headspace in terms of stand-up and that. And I suppose that's why this week's Lou Review wasn't the best, because I was just so focused on stand-up and recording for the new mixtape, which I haven't told you about. I'm recording a new mixtape for my... I don't know. I don't like saying serious music. Do you know what I mean? Because you know what? The difference between, like, I do parodies and I do funny songs. Like I did that song about SoFlo, and I do porn mail and that's all. That's still all music. I put in effort to make them sound sonically and musically pleasing. But I suppose the difference is the intention is not to make the best song. The intention is to make the funniest song. So for the Lad parody that I put out on Tuesday, I kept that to a minute, where I basically just parodied the Panda chorus, because I knew if I did the whole 4-minute song, it would just get boring and old. But a minute is just kind of perfect and shareable on Facebook, and that went really well. They got like 600,000 views, which is really I think that's the second biggest Lad parody I've done. The first biggest is the Lads in Frankston one that I did. So that's really cool. But yeah, I suppose the difference between that and my serious rap stuff, as people say, is the intention behind the serious rap shit is to make a good song that's very heartfelt and means and truthful. And so I suppose you could call it serious music. But anyway, I put it under a different name. If you haven't heard my first mixtape, just Google Christopher Ruse. That's what I release music under. It's just that whole first mixtape was basically I wrote it after my first tour, and a little bit while I was on tour, and it's essentially just a love letter to stand-up comedy and performing, because at that time I still had a job. I wasn't making very much money at all, but I had this aspiration to leave work and become a huge stand-up, and I'm certainly not there yet. I mean, I have left work, but I'm fucking, I'm not rich or anything. And I'm really proud of that mixtape. It was just 6 tracks. It's called Not Very Good Yet, because, I'm not very good yet. I produced all of the beats on there as well. But this second tape, I'm not too sure what I'm going to call it. I've got a few ideas for what I'm going to call it, but I haven't released it. When I decide on a name, I'll tell you guys. But it's basically, I wrote this one on my second tour, and that was when I was kind of figuring out, hey, between the money that I make off this stand-up tour and the money that I make off YouTube and Patreon, I think I won't need a job anymore. It was basically when I was on the cusp of leaving my terrible jobs that I hated, all the call center work that I was doing, all of the fucking robot slave shit that I was doing. And it's basically about becoming a professional, even if I'm not like a super successful one. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just becoming, oh shit, I think that I won't need the job anymore. I think I can do comedy full time. So that's essentially what this new mixtape is about breaking away from the whole system that we've built, which is, jobs and houses and marriage and kids and all that kind of shit. Is breaking out of that system and following the passion and turning that into something that brings in money and becomes a career. And I'm very, very proud of it, of how it's all coming along and sounding. I've recorded one track that I'm really proud of, and then I've recorded one verse from a second track, which is my favorite track, and the beats are all way better than the first one, and I think I'm much better with my lyricism and everything. And yeah, so I'm very happy. Look out for that. That should be out. You know what? I reckon if I do a lot of recording sessions this month, I reckon I could get it out in November or maybe late October. Probably early November is when I'm aiming to release that, and I'll keep you guys updated for it. But, you know, you're not here for my fucking rap shit. That's why I release under a different name, is because it's the worst thing when people who are good at one thing just force their music on people. Like, I think Filthy Frank does it really well because a lot of his rap is very funny, so it meshes with his audience. And I release my funny rap on Lewis Spears. But when it comes to, like, serious tracks, he also does this. He releases under a different name and puts it on a different channel, puts it on SoundCloud, and basically just releases under a different shit on the more kind of serious shit that he makes. And that's why I do that as well. Because you know what? It's so hard to make... If you're a comedian and you start doing rap, or if you're an actor and you start doing music, some people who like your acting, they don't like rap at all. Like, it doesn't matter how good you are at rap, they don't like rap. So they'll never like you. And that's got nothing to do with your musical ability. That's just, I don't really like rap that much. Do you know what I mean? So to force my rap and put it on my YouTube channel, I'm not going to do that shit. KSI's done that fucking YouTuber guy. It's really forced. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I'm going to put my rap here, and it seems like a very money-making thing. I would rather kind of do what Childish Gambino has done, Donald Glover, where he did his comedy under Donald Glover and then he did his rap under Childish Gambino, and they stood on their own because they were both very, very good. For people who like comedy, Donald Glover was very good at it. For people who like rap, Childish Gambino was very good at it. So I would rather have two kind of separate fan bases. Obviously, they overlap, but if people who like rap like my rap and hate my comedy, they don't have to see my comedy if they don't want. People who like my comedy, like my rap, they don't have to, or hate my rap, they don't have to see my rap. That's basically the idea I'm going. So if you want to check out my music, Google Christopher Ruse. You know what I've been getting into recently? I shouldn't. It's a fucking trap, man. I always do this shit. I always get way too obsessed with a thing, and then I forget about it like 6 months after. I spend like a month obsessing about a thing, fall in love with it, throw all my fucking money into it and all my time into it, and I learn everything there is to learn about it, and then I just get bored and I go on to something else. I've done this with so many things. It's ever since I was a child, man. I did it with like Yu-Gi-Oh! And then all the other different card games that came out. Then I did it with Star Wars, and then I got into like Warhammer, those figures that you paint. The Games Workshop shit, like those figures you paint and play with, and then I fell out of that, and then I got into World of Warcraft and video games, and then I fell out of that, and comedy is the only thing that stuck with me, and then I got into rap, and I'm really into that, but I'm still really into that, but comedy is like the only thing that I've ever fallen in love with, and it's just stayed at a consistent, fuck, this is great, for like forever. Everything else I get obsessed about. I learn everything there is to learn about it, and then I fall out of it. I did that with comic books. I'm still into comics, but nowhere near as much as I was when I was like 18. And now I'm getting, and you know what? I always go back to them. And like a couple years later, like years and years later, I haven't thought about this shit for fucking years, but now I'm just right into it again. I'm getting back into Warhammer. That's that fucking, you know those miniatures, the Warhammer 40,000 stuff, the miniatures that you paint, like they've got orcs and space marines, and it's the nerdiest fucking thing. Because not only are you assembling miniatures, but you're also spending hours, well, fucking days really, painting them. And then you spend days learning all of the nerdy rules, and then you go and hang out with a whole bunch of other fucking nerds, and you play the board game, and then you pack it all up and you take it home, and then you go to bed and you cry yourself to sleep because you're so alone. Like that, that's what I'm getting into, and it's fucking, they got me, man. It's the books. I've fallen in love with the history in the books. I'm reading this series at the moment called The Horus Heresy. It's something that I've always wanted to read. It's mega fucking science fiction virgin nerd shit. I'm reading that, and I read the first 3 books, and I fell in love with the entire universe again. I started reading about it. I'm like, oh fuck. I just remembered how much fun I had painting and learning and about the history and all of and playing the game and assembling them and all that kind of shit. And now I know about their backstory, so I'm fucking emotionally invested in it. I've always wondered why, like Star Wars and shit, sell their books. It's like, why do you need books? You got the movies, you got the toys, and the reason is you read this fucking sick story about some character, and then you love that character so much that you have to buy the fucking toy, and then you buy the poster, and then he's in the movie, so you go and see. It's basically a book. If you spend like a month reading a book about a character, you're so invested in them, you're going to buy something. You're going to buy one thing if you like the book. And that's what books are. Because I was thinking, you don't make that much money out of books, right? I mean, how many people actually buy the Star Wars books? And it's not about that. It's about, because if, let's say, fucking 10,000 people buy the Star Wars book, and then, 5,000 of them buy two figures, all of a sudden you've made $1 million. And out of that book that gets people emotionally invested. And they fucking did it to me, and I don't even care. I totally see that, like, what's happened to me as a consumer, and I don't even give a fuck. I love it. So I'm reading this series called The Horus Heresy. I really recommend you guys picking it up. It's really good, and they're quite easy reads. They're short books. But I read 3 books into it, and then I'm like, I wonder how long the series is. 45 fucking books long. I can't read all. I'm going to do it. I've been reading one of the books a week. That's insane. I've never read so much in my life, but it's really cool. It makes your brain. Reading is good, man. It makes your brain fucking quick. Like what I like to do, what I've started to do now is every morning. Because when you wake up and it's the worst thing to start your morning. You wake up, your alarm goes off, you turn your alarm off on your phone, and then you just open up Facebook, or you open up Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat, and you just start looking and scrolling and shit. It's like, and your brain just turns off. Like when you're looking at your phone, your brain relaxes and doesn't think, because why would it? If you need to think about something, you just fucking Google it, or you're being told what to think by reading all of this shit. It's the worst. It's the worst way to start your morning, and it's the worst way to end your night is looking at your phone. Like it's just, you wake up and you deactivate your brain, and then you get out of bed, and it's the biggest time waster, man. So how many times have you woken up and spent like an hour in bed just looking at nothing? And then it's like you wake up at 7 a.m. and then you look at your phone, and then 30 seconds later you look at the clock and it's fucking 8 a.m. It's like, how did I spend an hour in bed looking at fucking Facebook? It's the worst thing. So I'm trying to make it a habit to cut that shit out, because it's just not good, man. It's not good for your brain. So what I do instead is I set my alarm on my phone, and then I put my phone on the other side of the room. So to turn the alarm off, I have to get out of bed and turn it off. But even then, sometimes I get distracted by it because I've got the phone in my hand. I think what I'm going to do is buy an actual fucking alarm clock from Target or some shit, one of those shitty ones that plays music, and I'm just going to set it there and then put that on the other side of the room. So I got to get out of bed, and then when I turn the alarm off, I don't have my phone, right? My phone can be somewhere else in the room. Like there's no way for me to do it. And then when I'm just out of bed, what I started doing now is my alarm goes off, and then I read for like an hour. Probably less than an hour actually. I read for about half an hour in the morning. And that really gets your brain thinking, because it activates your brain, man. It's fucking imagination. It's comprehending language. It's thinking and wondering about the plot and empathizing with characters. It's like a fucking full brain workout reading a book. Even if it's non-fiction, even if it's true shit, you're still thinking and learning and experiencing shit in a way that your phone doesn't do that. And I feel like it's a really good way to wake up. And it gets your brain working, and then you just feel motivated to go and do shit. So I do that in the morning, and then I wake up at 6 in the morning, and I want to be asleep by 12 at midnight. So what I do is I'll wake up at 6, I'll read until 6:30, and then I get out of bed, have a shower, and do all that kind of do all that shit. Make some, work really hard to tell you guys some dick jokes, and then I get into bed at 11. And I turn my phone off, or I put my phone away, set the alarm and put it away. 11 p.m. I don't look at my phone. And then I just read until I fall asleep. Or I put it away at like 12, at like 11:50, and then I go to sleep. So, and I think that's a really good way to just unwind as well, is reading a book, because it's the worst thing. It's really bad to just look at a phone when it's pitch black, but you do it so often. It's such a bad habit that I have that I need to get rid of, because and especially because a lot of my shit is social media, I almost trick myself into going, oh, but it's working. I'm working right now. I'm working in bed. It's like, no, you're not, dude. You're fucking looking at videos of cats fighting each other and people pulling pranks on their mates. It's not fucking work. You're a loser. Get out of bed, you dropkick. So that's a bit of my inner monologue. It's one half of my brain trying to trick myself into thinking that my procrastination is working, and then the other side, the much louder side of my brain, calling me a fucking idiot and putting myself down. And then I go, I'm so fucking shit. And then I get up on stage and I tell some dick jokes and I feel better. Anyway, right, what are we going to do? Let's do some questions. Let's get to miscellaneous bit at the end. Before I do that, I want to talk about Patreon, right? I want to try a different pitch because what I've been talking about, like the honest, heartfelt, thank you very much for your support, that's not really working. Well, it is working, but I want to try something different, okay? So if you don't know, my normal pitch is, hey, just so you know, I support myself and I keep this podcast free with Patreon. Patreon is like Kickstarter, except it's every month for much smaller amounts. So you can give me $3 a month, and that helps me buy food. And every little bit helps. And even, it doesn't matter how little you give, I care a lot. You know, that heartfelt, I appreciate you guys. That's the truth, right? I want to try something different that I've seen a few other people do. And this is basically me guilting you into doing it. Because I see a lot of entertainers doing this. This works really well for Kickstarter, where they basically go, let me try. Just pretend you've never heard the sincere Patreon pitch about me being grateful, right? Let's just start with a clean slate. Let's pretend you've never heard of Patreon before, okay? All right, guys. As you know, I've been entertaining you since 2012. I've been entertaining you for free. You have been watching my stuff for free, listening to this podcast for free for years. And you know what? I think it's time for you to give back for all of the work that I do for you. The incredibly important, essential culture and art that I bring into the world that is arguably more important than hospitals, medicine, and sex. Okay? This podcast is the only reason that you haven't killed yourself yet, because of me. And you know what? I think you guys are being a little bit ungrateful. Okay? So let me tell you something. If you don't donate to my Patreon, I've set up a Patreon. And Patreon, right? Basically, you give me a few dollars a month, and I use that I take that money and I waste it all on hookers and cocaine. I don't spend any of it on improving my content. But you know what? I'm going to make you feel bad and guilt trip you into giving me money anyway. Because I fucking need your money, all right? I fucking need it. Because I do this for free, and you ungrateful cunts are just enjoying my content without giving back to me. So, this is what I want, all right? If every person listening to this podcast gave just $10 a month, I can't do it. I can't do the whole you know what they are, or you know when really rich people do the whole Kickstarter thing where they do their passion project. It's like, dude, really, you're a fucking millionaire. Do you really need to do a Kickstarter? And what really makes me laugh is that whole, if every person listening gave just $10 a month. Like, how up yourself are you? Do you really think every single person who listens to your shit podcast is going to give you $10? If every person listening to this episode, like just this episode, usually I get about 4,000 listeners a week, right? So if every single person listening to this right now gave $10 a month, that would be $40,000 a month, which is almost $500,000 a year. What the fuck am I going to do with that money? How the fuck would I make that worth it? If you guys gave me $40,000, I would have no idea how to improve how would I give you $40,000 worth, like $40,000 of quality? My podcast is fucking awful. Have you heard? And it's got nothing to do with how much money. It's entirely to do with how fucking shit and disorganized and bad I am at using fucking GarageBand. Like $40,000 a month. What would I even do? How would I give you a return investment on that? let's imagine, right? Okay, let me just, before I take the piss out of Patreon, I want to tell you guys seriously, it does help. It really does help, and I appreciate the support that you give me. But if you were giving me $40,000, there is no way I could fucking return that amount of money in terms of quality. Okay, I run a fucking podcast and a YouTube channel. If I had $40,000 budget a month, what the fuck would I spend that on? Writers? I couldn't. What, am I going to have a writer's room for Lou Review? All right, guys, so just sitting around the table, we're thinking for episode number 40 of Lou Review, what we're going to do is we're going to have Lewis, he's going to walk on screen, and we're thinking that the first thing he'll say is, g'day, cunts, and I'll be like, mate, I love that idea. You know, I think that's good. You know what? I think we should use that for this episode. Yeah, you know what? Let's start the episode with g'day, cunts. Good on you, man. I'm going to pay you... Let's see, I'm making $40,000 a month. I'm going to pay you $700 a week, man. That's a fucking great idea. Good on you. You've earned it, okay? You've earned this fucking money. And then some other guy will be like, okay, right. And then I was thinking, like, if I had $40,000 a month, everybody around me would just be taking advantage of me because they know I'm making a fucking YouTube channel, all right? They know that there's a point to how professional you can get before you start looking like a tryhard, and so they're just gonna hang around and take money from me and pretend they're being more useful. So I'd have like one writer going, "You should start your videos with g'day cunts." I'm like, "Yeah, sweet man, have some money." And then I have another writer go, "Yeah, look, I really do like the g'day cunts at the start." And I was thinking at the end, you could say, "Catch you later, cunts," but instead of saying cunts, like when we film, say cunts, but then during the edit, just cut it out so that it's just half a cut. And I'm like, mate, that's the shittest idea I've ever heard in my life. You've earned it, mate. I'm paying you $800 a week instead of old $700. But let's say the entire cunts. I want, half a cunt. You're getting $800, mate. Fucking genius. Yeah, I don't know. There are some people, I want to do a Lou review about the obscene amount of money that some people are making on Patreon. Have a look at the top earners on Patreon, like Jessica Negri, that chick with the fake tits and the iDubbbz hairline. She's making like $30,000 a month, and all she does, I'm so jealous. Like, I'm talking shit about it, but you know what? I'm jealous. I think she makes $40,000 a month. All she does is she does mail time on her YouTube, and she posts photos of herself in video game costumes, and she's really good. Like I'm not knocking her skill. She's very good at what she does, but what she does is not worth $40,000 a month. That's what I'm trying to say. And you know what? She's mastered it. If you want to become a really rich, famous cam girl, all you got to do is never show your nipple, never show your cunt, right? Don't show nipple, don't show your clit to anyone, and you can post photos and photos and photos, and every one of those dirty virgin dudes with $10 a month, they're going to give you $10 so they can get fucking photos sent to them that nobody else sees, and they're going to pore over the photos with the intensity of the Hubble telescope, just trying to find like a vagina fold or a little bit, like a hint of an areola, just trying to find that so they can get their fucking money's worth. It's like, oh shit, right? They'll find like a photo of her in like a Samus costume, but it's a battle damage one, so you can see like both of her legs aren't wearing anything, so she's wearing that fucking bikini shit, and they get out a magnifying glass, because obviously they're paying $10, they get high-res images, and they zoom in and they enhance it, and they zoom in and they enhance it, like on fucking NCIS true crime stories or whatever the fuck it is, and then they're like, oh shit, boys, this is we got a pube. This is not a drill. We found a pube. And then everyone runs over to the computer and they're like, oh my God, it's Jessica Negri's fucking pube. Oh my God. And then that's how they get their $10 worth. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. What I'm trying to say is donate to my Patreon because it really helps my content improve. And if I hit $40,000, I'll, I don't know what I would do if I had that. Anyway. Donate to my Patreon. Like, as if I'm going to get $40,000. Do you really fucking think that's going to happen? 40, like every single, like you listening to this podcast after I just talked about Jessica Negri's pubes, do I really think that that's going to go, you know what? That was worth $10 a month. I'm going to pay for that. Yeah, fucking you're dreaming, Lewis, you dumb cunt. Secretly though, fingers crossed. Anyway, donate to my Patreon if you want. It fucking helps and it makes the podcast better. What am I talking? Miscellaneous be the end. All right, I got 2 questions for you guys. I'm going to try and get through them both. All right. If you want to send an email with some life advice, this is miscellaneous be the end. It's the worst part of the podcast. It makes me want to die every time I read it. I wanted to give you guys an idea. Every time I read these emails, my eyes start to bleed. You can't see it because I'm on the podcast, but it looks like I'm crying and someone's put like red food dye into all of my tears, except it's my own. It's not tears. It's fucking blood because I've got to read these emails and my it's like the fucking the god of chaos Nurgle has taken over my eyes. That's a Warhammer 40,000 joke. If you guys understood that, you're probably cheering and going, fuck yeah, Lewis knows his shit, and that's 1% of the audience. Everyone else is going, the fuck is Nurgle? Anyway, let's get on the emails. Hey Lewis, you can call me Rebecca. Alrighty. A week or 2 ago, I was with my boyfriend who was house sitting at his grandmother's house, who was out of town for the... Rebecca can't spell. Okay, so Rebecca was with her boyfriend at her boyfriend's grandma's house because his grandma was out of town. All right, you're at your boyfriend's grandma's house. All right. We started getting intimate, so you were fucking... in his grandma's house and soon ended up naked. All right, so naked in your boyfriend's grandma's house. This is ballsy, Rebecca. You're a fucking loose unit. His grandmother came home early. Oh, no, this reminds me of the story of my girlfriend. His grandmother came home early and my boyfriend panicked and told me to hide in the closet while he talked to his grandma. I think I stayed... Were you naked? Oh, yeah. I stayed naked in his closet for at least half an hour. Fuck, that's funny. Did you start putting on her clothes? After a while, his grandmother eventually left the room and I quickly came out of the closet and started putting my clothes back on. When my boyfriend realized that his grandma would still be downstairs, he made me jump out of the window to avoid her. His bedroom is on the 2nd floor of the house. He didn't even jump down after me, telling me to call him. What should I do? Wait, hang on. Are you still in the closet? Did you send this to me while you fucking Okay, Rebecca, I'm assuming that you've jumped out. I don't know, nothing. I assume that you escaped alive and you didn't what do you want him to do? Hey, Grandma, I'm just going to leave the house for no reason and not talk to the disheveled woman in the street. I don't know. There's nothing to do, Rebecca. You should be grateful that your boyfriend was such a quick thinker. I mean, 2nd story, that's pretty rough. I don't think I would jump out there. Did you break your leg? I don't know. You're not supposed to do anything. You didn't get caught. You should be grateful that you weren't caught. You got to fuck in your boyfriend's grandma's house. Not many people get that opportunity unless, their grandma dies and leaves them the house. But then again, the grandma's probably watching, haunting you. You guys got away without being, your grandma watching you 2 bones. So you should be fucking grateful, Rebecca. Good on you. I don't have anything to say. Why was that email sent to me? Anyway, this one. All right, now I got the second one. Thanks for the advice, cunt. Or if you don't reply, that's cool too, you fucking lazy bludger. Alright. Hey Lou, love your shit. Would you ever consider making the podcast longer? An hour feels so short. Yeah, it might feel short for the listener, but have you ever tried talking alone in your bedroom for longer than an hour? You get really dehydrated and a big headache, so I don't think I can make it any longer than this. Okay, anyway, I've been in a situation lately and I'm not too sure how to handle it or if I should even do anything about it. I'm a typical 16-year-old horny guy. This information will be relevant soon. And so he's 16, wants to fuck girls. All right, and recently at a few parties I've been to with my girlfriend, Kate, Dude, you're 16, not illiterate. Recently, at a few parties I've been to, my girlfriend has been okay with me sleeping in the same bed with her and her friend also. Oh, the friend's called Hannah, your girlfriend's Kate. Oh, shit. Mate, sleeping? That's all you're doing? Really? Your girlfriend Kate is just, hey, why don't we just all get in the same bed and we'll just go to sleep and we just won't touch each other. How about that? That'd be a nice, wholesome activity to do. We're definitely not going to have a threesome. Like, you think she's not dropping hints there, mate? I think you might be dropping the ball. All right. So my girlfriend Kate lets me sleep in the same bed with her and her friend Hannah. It slightly seems Kate has also been encouraging Hannah to, but I'm not too sure if I'm looking too much into it and using my dick to think. Yeah, dude, you're not looking into it at all. I mean, my girlfriend always invites her hot lady friends to come and just platonically sleep next to us in the same bed. I mean, that's a normal girlfriend behavior, dude. I mean, why would you even look into that at all? I mean, my fucking mum does that with my dad. When they have friends over, my mum invites her female friend over and they just sleep. And there's nothing sexual about that at all. Every girlfriend invites another girl into a bed with their boyfriend to not have a threesome. That's totally normal. You're not looking into it at all. All right, I'm not sure if I'm using my dick to think. We've had sex literally right next to Hannah. Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking joking, bro? You're having sex next to another girl and you think that she might not be dropping some hints, right? She's invited another girl into a bed and then gone, hey, we should have sex with just each other and not... Are you sure, man? What do you mean, do you think you're not looking into this enough? You should be fucking straight into this. Yeah, dude, what are you thinking? I'm only halfway through this email and I'm fucking angry. You're wasting an opportunity, man. This only comes around every once in when the planets align. We've had sex literally right next to Hannah and everything, but she was asleep then. Oh yeah. Yeah, she was asleep. You guys... Yeah, because when two people fuck in a bed, it's totally conceivable that one person would be asleep the whole time. They wouldn't wake up once, mate. You don't think, dude, she wasn't asleep. She had her eyes closed and she was rubbing her coffee bean over her pants. What are you doing, mate? She's not asleep. Fucking, that's bullshit. But she was asleep. Okay, we've had sex, but she was asleep. It wasn't as weird as it sounds, I promise. One time, I gave my girlfriend oral and she's been completely naked while Hannah was awake and in the room at the same time. Her reaction when we do it is usually to laugh and she doesn't mind, although she doesn't actively watch. Not sure if out of politeness or just doesn't want to. Dude, so this is a thing that happens often. Where you go down on your girlfriend and this same girl is in the room, your girlfriend's okay with it, and she is, and the other girl is okay with it, and you're not sure if someone might be dropping hints. Are you fucking demented? Dude. Okay, let's read the rest of the email. I can't tell if my girlfriend is hinting for a threesome. Oh, you think? Or if this is just because we've been in a drunken state and she doesn't really care if Hannah is in the room. Hannah hasn't seen my dick though when this happens. Kate always tells me to be careful. She doesn't and covers it with the blanket, etc. I have no idea what this means. If she did want a threesome, I'm sure she would just tell me because obviously I'm not going to decline. Yeah, you'd be surprised, man. You'd be surprised. With girls, a lot of the time, they're not going to tell you fucking... They want you to be a mind reader. And especially with sex stuff. Especially with sex shit. Because the girls often are kind of self-conscious about liking shit because of the way that the world is around. If you like anal, you're a whore. Like that kind of thing. They want you... They just can't say it. You know, they feel weird saying it. She's never going to say it, man. But she's... dropping, there's no way she could be any clearer I mean, other than grabbing your head and shoving it into this other girl's box, there's no way she could be more clearer with her fucking intentions. Of course she wants to do it. I have no idea what this means. If she did want a threesome, I'm sure she would tell me, because obviously I'm not going to decline. So this leads me to think she thinks about it but isn't sure yet. Or I'm just looking too much into it and it means nothing. Yeah, it doesn't mean nothing, man. That's a good point. She could want it, but she's not too sure, which is where you have to kind of not take the lead, but take the risk and fucking ask. I don't plan on involving Hannah if it happens again, although I've definitely thought about it. I would need a clear yes from my girlfriend before I did anything, and obviously consent from Hannah. Yeah, obviously you're a good man, man. Good on you. Asking for the old consent, not doing a bit of the old forceful sexual encounter. That's good on you, man. Hannah has been fucking drilled around the block for a few times. All right, I take it back. You're a cunt. Hannah's been drilled around the block a few times, so I think she would be into it if the situation arose, although she hasn't expressed interest in it yet. What do you think is going on here? Yeah, look, Hannah is not in your relationship. She can't initiate it. It has to come down to you and your girlfriend figuring it out. Obviously, Hannah's not going to initiate because she's hanging around there. She's waiting for one of you to go, hey, why don't you come over here? That's literally all it's going to take you, bro. All you got to do is the next time, you have your fingers in your girlfriend and Hannah's just watching, what the fuck is she doing in the room? I know she's there, but what is she doing? Is she knitting? Is she vacuuming? What the fuck is she doing? What is so important that she's going to sit there and not watch? Is she playing Pokemon Go? All it's going to take from you, bro, is whisper in your girlfriend's ear and go, hey, why don't we ask Hannah to come over here? That's it. That's it. And either she's going to go no, or she's going to go finally. Oh my God, I can't believe it took this idiot so long for me to realize that's what I wanted for the past 6 months. That's why I invite my friend Hannah over every time I'm fucking ovulating, is because I want to have a threesome. Alright, there's more part of the email. I missed this bit. Also, did I mention Hannah is my ex? Holy fuck, bro. Of course. Dude, I don't understand how you could not be picking up on this shit. She wants a threesome, mate. Obviously your girlfriend knows. Your girlfriend doesn't invite your ex-girlfriend to watch you have sex if there isn't... Oh my God. I can't comprehend how stupid this is. Okay, you're not an idiot, man. You're 16. I was like this when I was 16. Sometimes I look back on the shit that I did when I was younger, like with girls, and I'm just like, how did you not know that she fucking... I remember I went on a date at midnight with a girl that I just thought was my friend. We went and saw the midnight premiere of Harry Potter, and I just thought she was my fucking friend. I thought it was a thing that friends did, and it was just us two alone at midnight, and she dressed up, and she was fucking gorgeous, and I show up in a t-shirt and jeans going, hey Sarah, how you going? Like a moron. I look back on that and be like, dude, that was a date, you fucking spastic. And I bet it made her feel really shit about herself, because she dressed up, made herself really pretty. She asked me on this date, and I said yes, and I acted like we were friends. She must have thought I was gay. Fucking idiot. I still look back on that like I'm an idiot. Yeah, dude, your girlfriend wants a threesome. All you got to do is just ask her, like when Hannah's not in the room, just say, hey, all you got to do is, hey, remember when I was going down on you and Hannah was in the same room? That was kind of fun, wasn't it? And then she's going to go yes, because it was her idea. And then you just talk about it. All you got to do is go, so, hey, I was thinking, it seems like you want Hannah to get involved. Is that true? Or am I, like, don't say, I want to involve Hannah because she's your ex. Don't go to your girlfriend. This is with the threesome thing. With your girlfriend, don't go, hey, I want to fuck this girl. You should come as well. It's not about that. It should be, hey, I think that you would really enjoy this. You seem to be putting down hints to do this. Do you have anyone in mind that you would like to involve? Don't say a thing about Hannah. Don't talk about her. Don't even act like it's in your mind. Just go, hey, I think you've been putting down a lot of hints that you want to add in another person. I just want to let you know that I'm interested in that as well. Am I reading this situation correctly? And then she'll go, yeah, actually, you know, I kind of do want to do that. Or she'll go, no, and you can just drop it. Actually, if she says no, then go, oh, what about all this stuff with Hannah? Why are we doing that then? If you're not interested, is that just, am I looking too much into this? And then she'll go, yeah, you are. It's just a thing that we do. Or she'll go, oh, well, actually, I think she's kind of cute. So just go to her, man. Don't mention Hannah. Just go, hey, I think you've been dropping a lot of hints that you might want to add in another person. Am I correct in thinking that? And then she'll go, yeah. Then she'll go, oh, well, you know what? I was thinking about it too. I think it would be a really good idea. But I just want to make sure that it's the right person. You know, I don't want to mess anything between us. I want to make very clear that you're the most important person in this. So I want to make this enjoyable for both of us. But do you have anyone in mind that you were thinking of? And then she'll be like, well, Hannah, you know, because we do that kind of stuff. And then we'll be like, you know what? I would be down for that. Maybe you could ask Hannah. So I think at every stage of it, involve the two of you. Don't ever have one of you hitting on Hannah. Always have the both of you approaching Hannah, because otherwise your girlfriend's going to be like, oh shit, maybe he just wants to fuck his ex again. And go for it, man. Also, just be aware that this could ruin your relationship. It's definitely a thing that could happen with threesomes, because your girlfriend might get jealous, Hannah might get jealous, but that's a risk you got to take. And I guarantee you, obviously, it could make your relationship better because you might really like it, but it's a risk you got to take, because I guarantee you, when you're 45 and you can't get a girl to look at you, you're going to be thinking, "Fuck, I'm such an idiot for not having that threesome." Which brings me to a story that I have. Right, I'll tell this story and then I'll end the podcast of the time I almost had a threesome. This is what you're going to think back on. What's your name? I forget your name. Never let his name. Oh, he said, "Cheers, cunt. I'd give you money if I had it and wasn't a fucking useless 16-year-old. Haha, love the podcast. You're going places, man." Thank you very much. I appreciate that, bro. And that right there is why the whole thing. If everyone gave just $10, this podcast would make $40,000 a month. Like, obviously, not everybody has fucking $10. But if you do have $10, fucking send them my way. Anyway, I'm going to tell you the time that I almost had a threesome, right? This was back in Face Beef days. Like, I think this was 2012. This is before I met my girlfriend. So, there was this girl who was a massive fan of me. She loved all of my shit. And she was sending me nudes, and we had a thing. We were planning to meet up. We'd never met in person. We were gonna do the deed. And then she's like, yeah, all right, I remember this. Okay, so we had organized that we were gonna meet up like on the weekend, and we were just gonna go on a date, and then I would stay at her house, and we do the grown up. We do the dirty all night, right? That's what we had planned. But then. This is when I was in high school, okay? Then, so we're going to meet up on Saturday. But then on Wednesday night, she sends me a text. And she's like, hey, I think you should come over tonight. And I was like, nah, I'll just see you on the weekend like we had planned. And then she sent me a photo with her, with another girl, in bed, going, how about now? And they're making out. Like, it's just straight out, you should come over to have sex with me and my friend. And I saw that, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to be the alpha male, the big dog, and I'm going to just say no. Fucking hell. And I said, no, I can't. I got school tomorrow. I don't want to do it because then I have to skip school tomorrow. I'm not coming over. Thinking that, and then I'm like, invite your friend over on Saturday. We'll do it then. And then it went back and forth with both the girls sending me photos, trying to convince me to come over, and me playing it cool, thinking that I was like an absolute boss turning down a threesome, thinking that this is going to make the girl respect me, and then, you know, we'll do it again in another date, and then we'll do it again and again, and just be a thing, and I just have threesomes every fucking, 2 weeks, and I'll live like an absolute mad cunt. Stupid 18-year-old thinking, right? And anyway, so it went back and forth. This is like 3 a.m. going back and forth with them trying to get me to come over so we can have this threesome, and me going, no, I don't want to do it. I'm playing it cool. I get, like, basically I'm playing it like I have an abundance of threesome offers every day, which I fucking don't. I think it's happened twice in my life, and I've never gone through with it because I'm a fuckhead, right? Anyway, so then she finally gives up. Both of them give up, and then she goes, "Fine, I'll bring her over on Saturday, and then we can do it." I'm like, "Yes, I fucking did it. I'm such an alpha male. I'm such a big dog. I really nailed it. Good on me, right? I'm the best." Come Saturday, I go over. I meet up with the first girl at a train station. Then we go to her house, and then we get to the house, and her friend is there, and we all start talking, blah, blah, blah. We go back and forth, this and that. And it's kind of weird where one girl is sitting on my lap. The other girl, the friend, is sitting on the other side of the room. And then I was like, hey, why don't you come over here? Are we going to do this thing? Because everyone was being really flirty. And then the other girl goes, oh, look, I really wanted to do it on Wednesday. And I really wanted to do it. But I've been seeing this guy, and we just made it official that we're in a relationship, and I thought that was going to happen on Thursday, which is why I wanted to do, have the threesome on Wednesday night. But now we're official, and I want to stay faithful to him. So I'm really sorry, but I can't do it. And I don't think I've ever been angrier at myself ever. I'm still angry about it, that I didn't just go, fuck it, skip school, go there, do the deed, and have that story just in my memory banks for the rest of my life. I didn't fucking do it, and I was so fucking angry with myself. And that's never gonna happen again. Statistically, that will never, ever fucking happen again, where I'll just have 2 random girls convincing me to come over their house to have a threesome. It's never gonna happen again. Never, ever. Dude, so you have to jump on this opportunity. And I'll tell you what happened with the rest of the night, right? So this guy comes over, and I actually meet him. He seems like a nice enough dude, whatever. And then me and the girl go to her bedroom, and then the other girl goes to her bedroom because they were living in the same house. So 2 different bedrooms. And then, we do it. And then I'd leave the next morning because I stayed there the night after only having sex with one of them. And then I get home, and a week after that, I met Jasmine, and was being like, fuck, this is a cool girl. I like her. Let's see where this goes. And now I'm still dating her 4 years later. And I remember hearing from the girl, yeah, this is what happened, right? So before I met Jazz, after I left their house, a couple days after that, I hear from the girl going, hey, so do you remember that guy that you met? And I was like, yeah, is that the guy that ruined my threesome chance because he's dating the girl? She goes, yeah. Well, it turns out that he actually has a fiance, and he gave my friend a fake name for their whole relationship. So they've broken up now, and yeah, she's pretty distraught. So I was just so fucking angry at this dude for ruining it. He had a fiance. He already had another girl. So I was really pissed off at that. But then I was like, oh well, that's kind of cool because maybe the threesome thing can happen a month later when she gets over this guy, and then it'll be good. But then I think like 2 or 3 weeks after that, I met Jazz, and then I stayed with her, and I liked her, and here we are. And now I'm telling this story. And that's the end of the podcast. So yeah, that's my fucking advice, man, is you need to jump on this shit. You need to talk to your girlfriend about it without Hannah. Talk to her without Hannah. Don't talk about Hannah at all. Just say, hey, I think you want a threesome. Just so you know, I think it's a cool idea. Do you have a girl in mind? Should we pick one? You know what? Here's what I want. Guys and girls, listen to the podcast. Have you ever had a threesome? Have you almost had a threesome? Are you trying to set up a threesome? Do you have any kind of threesome stories? Do you have a funny one that your friend had? Are you a girl who's had a threesome? Really want to hear from your point of view. Did it ruin your relationship? Did it benefit your relationship? Was everybody single? If you have a threesome story, send it into the podcast. I'll read it out next week. I really want to I love hearing about that shit. It's so interesting to me. No judgment, of course. I just want to hear your stories of you trying to set one up, failing. Like my threesome story is a big failure that probably just made you guys really angry at my 18-year-old self. What an opportunity I missed out on there. Yeah. And I will talk to you next week. Support me on Patreon.